Okay, so everything you say on stage has to be 100% politically correct. So, good night. Well, actually, I grew up in a very racist town. I don't know if you've heard of it. Portland, Oregon? Yeah. Um, and I know what you're thinking when you're looking at me. You're thinking old black magic. Like, for instance, is she old enough to even be in here? I bet you she doesn't even take her coffee black. And magic, I bet the magic she does is removing fine lines and wrinkles every morning. And you're right about everything. Well, get ready. This is going to be a bumpy ride. I don't do segues. Yeah, if you want a segue, go watch Mall Cop. I just turned 21. That's my first non-segue. Yep, I just turned 21. I'm killing it turning 21. I've turned 21 3 times now. And you know that store where all you cute young girls get all those adorable clothes? So old men my age look at you and not me, forever 21. They said, you can go ahead and call yourself 21 for the 3rd time. But when you come in our store, you're paying triple, lady. And I said, no, you don't. I said, that's not fair. The sign says forever 21. And you know what they told me? Yeah, well, we didn't know 21 was going to last that long. Well, I remember in the 50s, a long time ago, growing up here in Portland, where you'd have to ride the really slow trolley all the way downtown to go shop. Oh, sorry, shoplift. I get those two confused even to this day. You didn't think Cress and Newberry's went out of business on their own, did you? Because you're looking at the girl that almost made Fred Meyer's become a nonprofit. Yeah, I was really good at shoplifting, but I changed my evil ways. I'm a much better person now. But I got in a drunk driving accident in 96, so I have notes. You're welcome. Unless you want me to get up here and ramble for 20 minutes, I have to have notes. But the good news is about that drunk driving accident. I wasn't the drunk driver. That's winning on one level or another. But I just have a little tiny brain injury, little bit left, and little brain injuries are weirder than big ones. You see somebody with a really good brain injury, you believe them. A little brain injury? Not so much. Do you know, if you forget about 3,000 things in a row, all of a sudden the doctors don't want you to carry a gun because you might go postal. But I haven't been to the post office since emails. Well, because I have a brain injury, the doctors said I could have any service animal I want to help. So, naturally, I picked the best service animal for memory. He's parked outside. He's gray with a really long trunk. Yeah, he's perfect for my memory. The only thing he forgets is not to swallow my reading glasses and my early pregnancy test strips. But once he poops them out, they're worth a lot more in some countries. Well, now because he sits on everything and he eats everything of mine, I needed a second service animal. Yeah, I needed a service animal for my panic attacks. I can't get along without my glasses or my pregnancy strips. Well, now Portland is weirder than it was when I was growing up. Do you know they have the most amount of strip clubs per capita here? And on most days, I can't even remember what per capita even means. They have drag queen festivals. Sir, can you picture me as a drag? You probably can, never mind. And they have a once a year naked bike ride. You know what? Even if it's once a year, I could never be a spokesperson for a bike ride. Not going to happen. But when I was in school back in the 50s and 60s, especially my third grade teacher, Mrs. McCallum. She told us that we needed to be proud we're from Oregon. Well, it didn't make a lot of sense because nothing was going on here. So I did my research, 68 years of research. You know what? There's not much to be proud of being from here, Mrs. McCallum. Like she told us Sacagawea and Lewis and Clark. I studied it. Nowhere does it say that they're indigenous to Oregon. They came here. You can't count that. The only one of them that was anywhere remotely indigenous was Sacagawea because she was from an indigenous tribe. But they were indigenous to another place. Can't count it. Maybe Mrs. McCallum thought I should be proud because Michael Jackson did that whale movie here in Oregon. You know, Free Willy. But later he spoiled it because he freed his own Willie. So there went that. Maybe Mrs. McCallum meant I should be proud because Tanya Harding was going to be here from here later on. But Tanya was a big brat. She was a bigger brat than the rapper Da Brat. But one thing she did right, she coined the phrase take a knee long before our NFL did. So Tanya was a knee breaker and a ground breaker. Give it up for her. Well, I left Portland a lot of times. I got sick and tired of this racist town, and I had to get the heck out, you know. And I found out one thing, Mrs. McCallum from third grade. Nobody around the country knows where Oregon is, how to spell it, how to pronounce it. So I guess I was right. Not a lot to be proud of. But I love traveling to New York and Philly to do comedy. Mostly New York because I like to mess with the New Yorkers and tell them I'm from the Upper West Side. And they just look at me like, huh? And I go, no, of the U.S. map. Upper West Side of the U.S. map. It's still a thing. And Philadelphians, they're no better. I said to a homeless guy, do you know where Oregon is? He pointed that away and told me it's a street in South Philly. Newsflash, it is. Joke's on me. No segue number 2. After high school, I went to college. And I had a double major. I was studying 2 things at once, multitasking. Architecture and psychology. But it was really, really boring because the buildings wouldn't tell me what their psychological issues were. They can't talk. So I dropped out of school. Or was it my bad grades that I dropped out of school? I could sure use that elephant. Does somebody want to go get my elephant for me? After college, I worked at the Portland airport just to meet celebrities, and it worked. I bribed everybody at the airport to tell me when and where and what gate a celeb is coming in. Yeah, I was an early stalker, way before that was a thing. No segue number 3. Along came the draft, and I don't mean in your window. No, Vietnam. And I had to go into the Army, not because it was that or go to prison. I hadn't gotten in trouble with the law yet. I had to go into the Army because they needed someone, and I couldn't say no. And besides, all my friends either went up to Canada to avoid the draft or on a trip to San Francisco to do hallucinogenics. And many people never came back from either kind of the San Francisco trips, literal or figurative trips. So off to Germany I went, and they made me a cashier. Counting money. What else are you going to do if you're half Jewish? If I was full Jewish, they'd have probably made me in charge of Leavenworth. Well, I put me on a post where I was one woman among 2,000 men. Time of my life, right? Now, I knew if I went in the Army, I was going to have to stand at attention, but get attention? I wasn't ready for that. One woman, 2,000 men, any way you do the math, it's difficult. I hate math. It's a good thing I joined the Army for 3 long years. It took me all of those years to figure out how many times are they going to try to put 2,000 into one and try to have anything that's a remainder. But I made it through that. Yeah, I'm thriving. I do have a good case of PTSD. Side note, doesn't stand for post STD. So you're safe. Well, unless you heckle me. So I remember this one guy that used to always harass us and harass me and say, they call me the 60-minute man. 60-minute man, 60. He's like his own little echo. One time I just piped up and said, what, to get it up? And I don't remember getting a promotion after that. Well, maybe my elephant can remember. I don't know. But if that saying, he who laughs last laughs best, is true, one of these days that lieutenant's going to get my joke about what to get it up, and that joke's going to kill. And hopefully it doesn't kill him. I haven't killed an officer yet. No segue number 4. And then I became a single mom. Yeah, you should have PTSD and then become a single mom. That sets you right up for success. Yeah. Well, she's off on her own now, so now I'm an empty nester times 2. Empty nester figuratively and literally. I have but I think that the sitcom Empty Nest was a lot funnier than me being an empty nester. I skipped right over a 7-year marriage just to save you from the pain. I wish I'd have literally skipped over it. No segue number 5. I love getting older. Oh my gosh. Yep. I'm getting older a lot better than most of you in here. I like to embrace it. It's fun getting older. Because like in school, I used to get lousy grades. But now I'm getting all A's and B's. Oh, wait, that's Medicare. Never mind. And I like doing my own nails, putting on the polish. But just like LinkedIn, at this age, my nail polish is much better once removed, like LinkedIn. I love having Fleet Week come to town once a year because it reminds me to do an enema. And I also like the telemarketers calling because it reminds me it's dinner time. There's so many benefits to getting older. You get a free AARP bag. Sometimes it even matches the bags under your eyes. You get free sales dinners where they want to sell you something. And finally, the biggest benefit is Shakespeare makes sense. Because especially in my life, all the tragedy plus a lot of time equals comedy. I'm winning. So sometimes you see your life all over again, and it's kind of like a deja vu. Yogi Berra, deja vu all over again. Oh, wait, that was deja vu. Oh, sorry. Where is my elephant when I need him? Well, when you get older, you have more stories than you have time or friends. Well, you keep repeating them, and they keep getting better and better. So it's not that you have more stories than friends because your friends died. So that's good. One thing's weird. When you're older, you either get ignored or rushed. And both of those happened to me on the bus recently. It took my regular bus driver, same guy, every day, same stop, same time. It took him 15 days to quit telling me to just get on the bus and ask me for my bus money. So I guess I saved a half a month's bus riding money, so that's good. But I'm not sure how much I saved because I'm bad at math, and so is my elephant. Some people say the stupidest things to you when you're older. Like this one lady said, I went to comedy and she said, it's so nice of you to come out to support live comedy. And I'm like, I own the club, lady. How do you think I became the headliner? No segue number 6. Some people hate the young people, the millennials, but not me, because I'm smart. I figured it out. You guys are going to fix all the problems we created. Oh, sure, you want us to die first, but you're going to fix the problems, like climate change. Like we messed up things with, the temperature with the climate change, and those pop can rings are causing havoc with animals in the ocean. And oh my gosh, don't get me started on straws and turtles that we cause. But the most evil thing we created for you young people is sagging skin. Yeah, we have a lot of, we don't even act. Us old people aren't even actors, but we got a lot of SAG credits. I'm getting sick and tired of looking at other people's resting bitch faces. I don't mind my own because I don't look in the mirror. I don't want to see the roadmap of Philadelphia every morning. I just like to live in denial that I'm young and beautiful. But you guys are going to fix all these problems, but I don't want to give you the world to fix without knowing who I'm giving it to. So I went out to learn words you use, like Snapchat. I got on the bus and asked a 4-year-old, hey, can you help me be hip and woke and dope? I want to know what Snapchat is. So he explained a little, and then his grandmother chimed in. I'm like, oh, snap. She wants to chat. Forget this. So I went on a different bus and asked about Instagram. So I asked a high schooler, because that's a whole different demographic. They speak for themselves. I don't know if you know that, but high schoolers talk for themselves. So I asked a high schooler, hey, can you tell me about Instagram? Do you know I woke up 3 days later in a back alley with my tits up in the air and white powdery stuff all over my chest? And I should have known, because back in my day, if you went to a college party and scored Coke in 5 minutes, that was your Instagram. And you guys came up with some word, mollycuddle. None of you young people that I asked know what mollycuddle is. I don't even know. But I've never done Molly the drug or Molly the girl. But if I ever did Molly the drug or the girl, I'm sure I'd need to cuddle. That's all I could come up with. But now that I've learned a few things, I feel woke and dope and AF. Oh, I guess you say AF in a sentence, like, now I feel so woke and dope and I feel like I'm smart AF. And AF, by the way, it doesn't stand for Air Force. Your words are weird. You have iPad. You just threw out our definition for iPad. That was when you went to the doctor because your eyes were puffy and you got a pad to put on your eye. A simpler time, I get it. What about AIDS? That's something where you lose weight, right? Get ill and lose weight. It used to be little black chocolates that came in a box. And it made you lose weight, but you weren't sick unless you ate too many at once. But it was a diet food. And what about Gap? You call it a clothing store? In my day, that was the space between David Letterman's teeth. Well, anyway, I'm woke and dope and AF, so who cares? Well, I was a banker for 24 years, and even the bank is changing words. In my day, you have different words now. They want me to swipe a card. In my day, swipe meant steal, and I was really good at stealing. I never got caught for it, and I sure as hell am not going to swipe anything in a federal building. They have big laws against that. They call them felonies. I think they still call them felonies. Once I got swiped down, then they decided to change it. Enter your PIN. Like what? A hand grenade? I am not taking an army hand grenade to my bank. They have cameras. Not going to do it where there's witnesses. And now they want you to enter a chip. And I don't know what you mean by a chip. A chip on my shoulder, a Lay's potato chip. I can only have one. Forget about it. And you young people, you can date off the internet? What's that about? I can't date off the internet. I can get a one-night stand. The only one I can get is one at IKEA. Have you seen their prices? I can only afford one. And picking out a nightstand at IKEA is just like dating. You got to sort through all the colors. Sometimes they come with clear directions, and they usually fall apart under any kind of pressure. And I hate grocery shopping. Oh my gosh, I like getting older, but grocery shopping has gotten really weird. I just want to go in there and get one hard banana that's going to last for about a week. That's what I like. But Chad in the produce aisle, I see him over there and he's like, "Do you know what you want, ma'am? Do you know what you want? Can I walk you to your one hard banana you always want?" "No, Chad. And besides, I see you playing around and manhandling them perky melons. And besides, on aisle 5, Chad, you've got 5 kind bars in a box. And all of us baby boomers know 5 of a kind isn't a 5 kind, it's a Yahtzee. Straighten it up." Well, I was in the Army, and that's why I post a lot. I post on Facebook all the time because I'm Army. It's a good thing I wasn't in the Air Force because I'd have to call it free basing. And we all know that would get you in trouble with the law. So one day I posted 82 jokes, and a 74-year-old lady blocked me because she missed her doctor's appointment reading all my jokes. Her doctor called to thank me. But I really hope somebody, just one person on Facebook, steals one joke. And I hope they have really deep pockets so I can sue them. That will make my day. Well, I like doing comedy now, and I do it for places where you can have a hostage situation. Like on Amtrak. They can't jump off the train because they didn't like your joke. They're going to... And in the differently able section, I can tell jokes to Oshkosh, by gosh. I don't think they've ever seen the movie Throw Mama from the Train, so I'm safe. The first time I got to New York on the train to do comedy, I saw the Empire State Building. And boy, was I excited. It's a beautiful building, and Trump didn't build it. So that was fun. And I started singing that song, "If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere." Because I heard the song in my voice, and then I heard another voice. "Get out of the bike lane, you crazy witch." And I jumped and I needed a shrink because I'd been startled in public my first hour in New York. So I got me a shrink. And every symptom I told her I had, she stole. Everything I had, she took. So I took her husband. I'm kidding. I'm from Portland. I'm not aggressive like a New Yorker. No, we're passive aggressive. I had my neighbor take her husband. No segue number 7. You like my dress? I got it because of this lady at the nursing home, my hostage comedy at the nursing home. I got all done with an hour of comedy, and she said, "You should keep your day job." But I didn't have a day job. Well, I went and got me one, street walking, and the dress and the hooker heels are perfect. I grew up in a different time, you guys. Don't blame me. I know you have the Me Too movement, and that's awesome. We had a women's movement in my day. It just didn't move. So you can't call it a movement. Yeah, us boomers, we got our self-esteem from honking cars, cat calls, and wolf whistles, and those are kind of taboo right now. You didn't think I got my self-esteem for myself, did you? No, I got it. A man told me if I was good looking. That's how we are. And the only place you can keep your self-esteem intact is with prom gowns, hooker heels on 82nd and Powell. That's where I'm killing it. There and at bus stops. One thing about me, though, I might be old and invisible to some people, but you better not ignore me. And I don't get ignored on 82nd and Powell. I get arrested far less often, too. It's a give and take. But I love doing comedy now for the military. Since I served I served our country. I love doing military comedy. They make me feel tingly all over to help the veterans laugh and forget all their pain. Yeah. So every time I'm doing comedy, I find a new GI spot. Thank you for your service to me. Well, that's about my time. But before I go, I'd love to leave you with 1,000 voice impressions like Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Goofy, But without my elephant here, I'm afraid I might draw a blank, a big old Mel blank. I have an announcement. This just in, I have an announcement. Will the person who parked a perky pachyderm outside go get it? I gotta go.